Welcome back to Morbid News. And this is Morbid News with Asha. I'm your Countess of Crazy, your Mistress of Morbidity, and I have a ton of news for you today, so let's get started. Our first story comes from Brazil, where a model tripped over his own shoelaces on the catwalk, fell over, and ended up dying. This is a weird one. I'm starting strong this week, alright? So I guess he's just, on the catwalk, strutting his stuff on the catwalk, and tripped over his shoelaces. People didn't know if it was part of the act or not. Attendants came over. They took him to the hospital where he later died. They didn't say there was anything going on. They didn't say whether maybe he was on drugs or he was sick. They said he might be sick after the fall, but not before. It's very unclear how he actually died. Like, maybe he hadn't eaten. I mean, he's a model. Who knows? Maybe he was starving himself for this big show. It was Fashion Week in Sao Paulo. Who knows? And he just literally fell over and died. That's all I got to say on that. Tie your shoelaces. Our next story, because I'm moving right along, I have places to be and things to do. Sorry. Our next story comes from Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is any place in New Mexico you know is already weird. And if anybody would like to go fund my trip to Roswell, where I can maybe go scope up some aliens, you let me know if you want to throw money my way or come with me on the trip. Because if anyone's going to get abducted by aliens, it's me. So anyway, back to New Mexico. I don't know if you guys have heard of this spa treatment called the vampire facial, which I'm surprised I haven't gotten because that sounds right up my alley. But this is a procedure where they take plasma of the client's blood and then inject it back into their face. This was kind of made known by Kim Kardashian because she's on the front of all this health crap. And I don't know how much it works. Obviously, I've never gotten it done. It seems kind of like, who knows? It's like people are always trying crazy stuff to make themselves appear younger. I would like to see the science backed up on if this actually makes your skin feel nicer, smoother, have less wrinkles, whatever it is. But 2 former clients that went to this spa and got this procedure done have been diagnosed with HIV. They think is because of this clinic because they both went to it and it seems like it's the only thread between them. And who knows where it actually came from. Maybe it was like they were using dirty needles. Like, how else would you get it? You're using your own blood, your own plasma, so it's not going to come from yourself. So obviously they have to have been using dirty needles or what have you, and in which case they should definitely sue, because the last thing you want after getting a facial is to find out that you somehow got AIDS. So kind of putting it out there, if you're going to do something like this, really do your research, make sure that they use clean needles, because, any situation where you're opening yourself up to being poked and picked at like this, it's like, if you get a tattoo or whatever, it's like the same thing. You gotta watch out for yourself, number one. So, if you see a spa or anywhere else that uses needles, not, working to code, definitely make a call, because, it sucks. These 2 people walked in just to get a facial and now they have HIV. Like, that's a bummer. If it is in fact because of this spa, it's, it's just a theory. It's not totally inclusive, but either way, that sucks. So beware of the vampire facial. In my book, vampire facial is a very different thing. Now here's something I know a lot about. Poison sausages. I've had my fair share of poison sausages, pretty much all my ex-boyfriends. So Australia is trying to kill millions of stray cats by bombing fields with poison sausages, hoping that the cats are going to eat them all and die. So this is an interesting story to me because they're saying that their population of wild cats are like so insane at this point that this is like their only option. At first PETA was like, you can't do this, and then even PETA was like, holy crap, we have so many stray cats that like this actually might be the only solution. It is kind of sad because they are supposed to eat this sausage and then within like 15 minutes they're supposed to die. Who is gonna pick up all of these dead cats? If there's so many of these dead cats, are people just gonna walk out into fields in Australia and just be like littered with dead cats? That sounds terrible. But also, my other problem is, aren't other animals gonna eat this stuff? Cats aren't gonna be the only animals eating these sausages. Aren't there other animals? Aren't there other species of, wild animals that are gonna get into this? They say they might be made like partly out of kangaroo meat and whatever else, and I'm like, also like, why are you using kangaroo meat? I have so many issues with this. And on top of that, at one point the state of Queensland was offering $10 Australian per feral cat scalp. Like you could literally go out, scalp some cats, and make a bunch of money. What is this world that we live in? Who's going out there and scalping cats? Somebody's probably doing it. Maybe it's not a bad way to make money, actually. Either way, the whole reason behind this is because these wild feral cats have been destroying Australian farmland. So I understand. They're like killing a huge economic thing that they have going on down there. I get it. It's just I always have this problem when you introduce some other thing to kill off a bunch of other things. There's always some weird cause and effect where something that you didn't think would happen happens that you just didn't plan for. Like if you introduce a bigger animal to destroy a smaller animal, that bigger animal becomes a problem. Australia, you do you. If you want to throw in, plain drop some poison sausages to kill off a bunch of cats, that's your prerogative, and that's why you're Australia. I think my favorite part is that even PETA was like, can't argue this logic. Moving on, this is kind of a short one, but I saw an article that said, men enjoy sex with mentally unstable women more. Does this surprise anyone, though? I, for one, can tell you the more unstable I feel, the more likely men are gonna want me. I don't know why, that is the reality. To be fair, am I ever a stable person? Not really. That's why I'm doing Morbid News. It's all for attention. Please help me. Save me. So here we are. And obviously, mental health is very important. I don't have to say that, but kind of do. But if you are feeling mentally unstable, please call a suicide hotline. Call whoever you gotta call, a friend. That's important. Moving on. So apparently Facebook is trying to get their hands in your personal life even more than they already do. They want to start doing a little dating situation on Facebook. Apparently it's already available in Colombia, Thailand, Canada, Argentina, Mexico, Brazil, the Philippines, Vietnam, Singapore, and Ecuador. The whole thing is that later this year, if you have a crush on somebody, you can put a little ping on Facebook, and if they also have a crush on you, Facebook will notify both of you so you can start chatting. If that's not creepy, I don't know what is. I want nothing to do with Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Do I like Facebook? No. I think it is the devil, and I should know. So this is just my warning. As soon as the world and social media changes, as soon as Facebook is not a viable source of social media, I am deleting the crap out of it because it terrifies me. It knows way too much. Mark Zuckerberg might also be a demon. I can't confirm nor deny. I don't know. But please, Facebook, stay out of my dating life. You're already like basically Tinder. You everything, just stop. Stop what you're doing. I don't like it. I don't think anybody else really likes it. Just stop it. And our last story of today, another sad topic, going back to mental health. Teen suicide has spiked after the debut of Netflix's 13 Reasons Why. Now, I watched this show, but obviously I'm an older individual. It's more made for younger, the young adult audience. Then again, almost 30, still don't feel like an adult. Now, they can't say that this show explicitly caused all of these increases in suicide, but they do say that in the month following the show's debut in March 2017, there was a 28.9% increase among Americans ages 10 to 17. That is a lot. That is a lot of suicide in just like a span of a month. Like, that's crazy. Again, they can't say for certain that this caused it, but if it even had anything to do with it, like, Netflix has got to distance themselves as far away as possible from this kind of material again. I mean, suicide should never be idealized. It is not the way out. You know that if you are depressed, that you gotta talk to somebody. It's super important. I know I make jokes on here, but I've myself have had that kind of thought process where I thought, like, I don't know if I should bother being alive anymore, and you have to get to a healthy place. You have to realize there are people who care about you. You have a reason to be alive. You're here. Make the most of it, etc. I didn't necessarily love or hate this show. I thought it was entertaining, but for some people, they probably thought it was like, oh, this would be what it would be like. People would talk about me. People would remember me. People would like wonder why I did it, and I'll like revenge suicide. It's just no. All of that is not okay. So, as much as I like that the show portrayed suicide, and it was a very ugly suicide, it was not. I watched it and I was just like, oh my god, that is intense. But for some people, it might be just what they needed to see, so they could make that decision. Which, if that is at all true, that really sucks. And Netflix has to be more careful because they're the biggest media streaming site right now. Like, they are such a colossal industry at this point. They're like the Spotify of TV and film, so they really need to be more responsible about the things that they're putting up. And that's all I can say about that. Well, anyway, that's all the news I have for today. Some not so great news, but the world is full of crazy stuff. And if you think of any other stories that you think I should report on, please send them my way, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!